podcast, we were thinking all this time off, boy, who's even putting on a bra these days?
Are you putting on a bra, April?
I have to admit it's maybe a part-time gig at this point. And then
I put it on in the morning because I'd like, okay, I'm going to put on my sports bra. I'm going to work out. It's going to get me in the mood. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then by 4 o'clock, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is enough.
it's kind of free not having one on, like but in the 60s and the burn your bra movement, but yeah, it's kind of like free falling at the end of the day. It's like take this thing off.
How far did they fall?
Yeah.
That's on the next episode.
No, and is anybody are taking showers on a daily basis?
For me, I'm taking one. I'm like on an every other day basis because I don't get too dirty. On days I do work out as much as I should, then I do need a shower. But I've been doing it every other day,
actually,
and not washing my hairs,
okay,
as much because
okay.
Yeah.
Well, they say that's better for your skin anyway.
Yeah, it is. So I'm kind of worried about my eyebrows. I'd like to see a picture of everybody's eyebrows out there, but they're looking pretty. I did when I went to the store to get supplies, I did go by the tweezer section to look for maybe some scissors at least to trim them up. Because I try not to tweeze them anymore. But yeah, they're out of like scissors and the tweezers are low and the wax, and it's kind of funny. And all the hair color, they're saying the hair color's low, and I just like to see everybody's their new home hair color.
Well, I know I was joking with our office manager yesterday, talking about, because we have the same hairstylist. She's like, have you talked to Alan lately? I said, no, he managed to sneak me in the day the closures were announced.
Nice.
And that's probably going on 6 weeks now, close to it. And she was talking about her eyebrows. She's like, we're joking, they're like woolly bears, those caterpillars? Really fuzzy caterpillars.
At least they're in now.
Yeah. Or, like Frida Kahlo, the artist who had the unibrow.
Yep.
And I said, boy, it's going to be pretty ugly by the time this thing is over with.
I know. I used to have a unibrow when I was little, or lots of eyebrows. And,
me too.
They thinned out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then so your hair, I picture now your hair is going to be really gray, and then you're going to be sagging down to your belly button. So that's how I picture April now, in your robe.
And the unibrow.
With the unibrow.
Yes.
Perfect. I did see that one meme where they're talking about that's not a stranger or whatever on your camera, it's your neighbor without makeup and without hair extensions. And what about the ladies that get false eyelashes?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh, that must be a mess falling out.
And I saw a funny meme where picture of Mona Lisa, but her roots growing in.
Yeah, and the fingernails.
Oh yeah.
Mine are. Yeah, if you had them done, and you have to pull them all off by now.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have mine done, but mine are pretty gross.
Right.
So are we gonna have a beer today, April? What are we drinking?
Well, after talking about how ugly we're all gonna be, I think it's time to crack open a beer.
Yeah. What are we drinking today? What do you have here for us?
It sounds like Phaedrus.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna open mine.
All right. So just to clarify, Cindy has the Phaedrus. I am out of stock, but I'll be heading to the brewery later today to replenish.
You're out of stock. I don't think. Do you ever drink beer? How come I'm always drinking alone?
Because I want to make you look like you're the only one who.
I was gonna say. April's trying to pretend like she's a goody two shoes. Okay, here we go. Today I'm having Phaedrus. And it has a picture of a motorcycle, a really cool motorcycle. You can see this on our Facebook page and in our Facebook group.
But you can see it on our culmination page.
Oh, culmination too.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I poured mine in a glass. I like my beer in a nice cold mug.
There you go.
All right.
Like
so it says.
Straw, so.
Do you drink your beer with a straw?
Yeah, did you hear that's the best way to drink your beer?
Oh. So it says the road to love, madness, and divine inspirations is paved with Cascade, Citra, and Mosaic.
Yep.
Enjoy the ride. What does this mean?
Those are the
What's Phaedrus all about?
Yep, okay. Citra and Mosaic are a type of hop. But I think I mentioned in the first episode, if you've read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, it's a very, very philosophical book. And you guys have time now, I suggest you read it. It's very deep.
Yeah, that didn't make it in the first episode.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, because like I said, I'm learning how to edit.
Right.
I kind of got chop happy, and so I still have that information to put in later when I get creative.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead and tell us. Tell us what it's about, April.
The main character in Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance uses Phaedrus in his story to talk about the state of quality. And it gets pretty deep into it. And how we all perceive quality. And how this philosophy kind of drives them mad. And that's what they're kind of touching on the label on our Phaedrus can. Our Phaedrus
Okay.
can.
And so how does this relate to dentistry? How would quality
That's a good question. We all have different perceptions of quality. Or maybe it'd be the quality of your dental work that you perform, the quality of your leadership skills,
your notes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're more quality than others.
Yeah, it's pretty deep, but it's a really good book to read, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
All right, so I'll go ahead and check that out I do Audible as well, because I think I told you before I can't read so much because it puts me to sleep. So I love to have somebody read to me, which you'd think that would put you to sleep.
And that's why I'm the same way. I love to read books. I read books a lot as a kid, but yeah, the beauty of having audiobooks is you can, multitask while you're still listening to it.
Yeah, and I love to drive now because I listen to a lot of podcasts. Love listening to those. And then also, my books on tape. It's just amazing. You get into a good story, and on the treadmill, you just keep going because you want to hear the story, and
right.
You can learn so much and
right.
absorb so much. And then after working, I love music. When if I'm doing hygiene, I love to have music because it keeps me entertained and it's going that way. But then also after the day, though, I'm like sick of music. I just want to hear somebody talking like this to me, on the way home to relax and relax my mind and take my mind off of the day.
Listen to all your Celine Dion tapes and
yep. Right. Sing along in the car, light up a smoke.
Right.
Since we're going back to the 60s.
Picking up more Phaedrus on the way home.
Yep, pulling up in my scrubs and my dirty scrubs and
right.
with my smoke and picking up my brews.
I could just picture.
If only I was joking. No, I am.
But the alcohol sales are. I shouldn't even talk about it, but yeah, the liquor store sales are way on the rise.
Yeah, so you can't get your hair cut. You can't go into a salon by yourself and one other person, but you can go to the liquor store and get liquor.
Right.
And in Oregon, you could go to the marijuana shops. They even open their hours a little bit longer, and I think made it so you can buy more. So.
Right. So we're drowning our woes in marijuana and alcohol.
Yeah, they want you to be, I guess, home, stoned and drunk and then watching whatever Tiger King and
more acceptable that what we look like by the end of this.
Then we all look. I think everybody looks pretty. but then people who have significant others that are still working and then they come home, they don't think it's so pretty.
And look, I'm not wearing a bra, so no. And I haven't showered.
Yeah, I did shave my legs, so that's good.
Yeah.
What? Oh, and somebody was like, "Oh, send a picture of your fur baby." So I took a picture of my toes. Like, there's my fur babies.
You didn't specify, so that's fair.
These are my fur babies.
I'll just show them, my 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, if all of The mustaches are coming back in style too. The lady mustaches.
Right. See, our side gig could be a circus act.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
That could be a side gig,
Uh-huh.
a side job. We could start a circus.
Yes. We know enough people that could probably fit the bill. Dental sideshows.
So we could have the hygienist. What would she be? Or he?
The hygienist would be the one, sitting back.
The pretty lion in the cage, all trapped.
What's that?
The pretty lion in the cage, all trapped.
Yeah, and expecting the assistant to do everything.
And the assistant will be the one out there eating up all the grain, whatever they feed them, the peanuts.
Right.
And then the office manager would be the trainer with the whip.
Right. And well, who'd be doing the ticket sales then?
That could be the front office coordinator.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then the doctor would be in the back getting all the money. Right? Is that how it goes? Not anymore. Things have changed around here, right?
Right. How funny. See, everybody can envision the dental circus.
That's the name of this episode. The Dental Circus.
Okay.
I like it. On a motorcycle. Dental Circus.
Oh, you know what you could title it? No bras and circus acts.
No bras,
and mustaches. No bras and
ladies tash.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Circus Act, the Dental Circus Act, where ladies have mustaches and wear no bras. Where there's innovations created out of chaos. Sit back, crack a beer, and put up those little fur babies.
Whatever you are doing during this quarantine, maybe you've been thinking a lot about stuff and what's going to happen in the future, especially like in the dental industry. I equate it to this, like an earthquake hit. Okay. However, we had no seismic activity to warn us, and this earthquake measured like a solid 10 on the Richter scale. And we all globally felt this jolt. It's like an earthquake or almost like a meteor hit the earth. I don't mean this literally, but in the microcosm of the dental industry, we were hit with this force, that left us feeling as though there was irreparable damage and things are crumbling around us. And now I've always thought that dentistry needed some sort of a shakeup, but certainly not in the way it occurred, like the past month. And now we're faced with this big question mark. What's going to happen? Now we're in this state of chaos. Well, I started thinking about chaos a little bit. What's the meaning of it? We see it as like disarray and confusion. Well, chaos is actually rooted in Greek mythology. This was new to me. I found it fascinating. And it's described as a gaping void, this dark space that before the universe was created. So you can envision that, maybe stillness, maybe not, but gaping void, you think, it's a dark space. And they said that from chaos, they sometimes say chaos was was a deity, but from chaos, the deities for earth and the heavens were born. Now we have our own gaping void, not just in dentistry, but in just about every other industry. And it would be fair to say that we're all in this dark space. But the Greeks were right. Out of chaos, they say, something amazing and prolific is born. You have to have dark to also have light. And this is our time to be reborn, so to speak, to create and to shine. Because, think about our industry, how it's very structured, or we like to think it is. We have our schedules, we have our protocols, regulations, etc. As we should have those to deliver the best patient care and safety for others. But let's face it, structure leaves little space for creativity. It's kind of boring. But throw some chaos into the mix and we're facing new challenges. okay, which opens up the floodgates for creativity and innovation. It forces us to think beyond our neatly structured op. In the case in my brewery, for example, we got to start thinking, and breweries are doing this nationally. We have to do delivery and pick up and takeout now. That's since we can't have our tap rooms open. But what we're seeing in that sense is people obviously don't want to go out or leave their homes. And now there's a new branch to that in breweries where, hey, I want to get beer delivered to my house. And, even with the grocery stores, that it's getting even more common. People just don't want to leave their house, or they just want to do, pick up their groceries. So this is going to be probably the new normal. But what about dentistry? And here we are in dentistry now. Okay, are we going to have more stringent infection control and wear more PPE?
Right, and I think that we definitely do need better PPE. And there's several of us
Right.
out there that might not have been the best at infection control and making sure that the rooms are wiped down and stay, the rooms sit wet long enough, between patients and allowing enough time. So I think this brought a lot of attention to those needs, not just for hygienists, but for the front office people, for assistants,
Right.
for the doctors, for the entire staff, and for our patients. So without this acknowledgement, we wouldn't be aware so much of the needs that have always been there. But now we're going to have creativity and innovations and have better protection for everybody and the general public as well. People are going to be washing their hands better, at least for a while, and thinking about it. And one thing that's always bugged me is when patients come in sick and we see them, even though in our hearts we know that we shouldn't. I was always good about not using the ultrasonic if I knew that somebody might not have been feeling 100%, just to be safe. But I think that is something that is brought to the attention to other hygienists now as well, people that might not have thought about that before. Even though this is a horrible time and it's really sad to see, sickness, but we're also going to be seeing improvements in innovation and out of creativity from all of this chaos.
Creativity is born out of chaos, going back to Greek mythology. Chaos is defined as this dark space before anything was born, invented or created. So you have to have that chaos.
You really do. Think of how chaotic World War II was, and what a horrible time that was. But think of all of the innovations that came out of that time. Commercial air travel, the way we know it today, came out of all of that chaos. Jet engines, pressurized cabins, radio and landing navigation, all critical innovations for air travel the way we know it today. Not that we are traveling a lot today, but will be in the near future. Also, other innovations that came out of that chaotic time are penicillin, medicine, and how often do we use a penicillin? Also, x-rays came out of that chaotic time, and we use x-rays on a daily basis, and they're very important to our healthcare system and to our well-being today. And without that chaos, we wouldn't have those x-rays. So how can you use chaos in your dental practice to your advantage? Well, in your team meetings, what you can do is have a little chaos, have some fun. Instead of everybody sitting in their chairs and reviewing charts and numbers, and which is super important, don't not do that, but have some fun time as well. Have a little chaos, stir things up a little bit. If you're sitting there talking about the numbers and the practice and and the same old stuff, that's super important. You're not going to be able to create and think outside the box. Let your team be creative, and everybody has some great ideas that I know that they want to share. open up their minds, play some games and let them brainstorm and think and come up with lots of different ideas and solutions, and then listen to each other and listen to each other's crazy ideas and, take them into consideration. You never know. It could be the answer. It could be the solution to your problems. It could be the new invention. It's also important to get outside of the practice, to have some meetings, away from the office, away from the dental environment, where people can do some team building and get to know each other on a different one-to-one basis. And so that way they get back to the office, or we get back to the office and respect each other more and have a deeper understanding of where people are coming from. And then we work better together. And it's better for the patients and the practice and everybody overall. Some fun things you could do would be like, going for a hike, or going to an escape room, going golfing, or laser tag, hiking. It doesn't have to be anything major. Just to get out of the environment. Even if you have your team meeting at a different location than inside of your practice, it gets your mind away from the normal that you already know. It opens up your mind and expands your thoughts outside of what's already there. And if your office is currently, closed down, which I think most of them are right now, people are starting to build back up and, get back to work slowly. So you do have a little bit of downtime that you can also use as team building. And even if it's on Zoom, you can, it's definitely outside the box and, different environments. And it'll help you warm up and get your team back together and excited again to see your patients.
I love it. If anybody out there in podcast land listening to our podcast would like to join our dental circus, as we're joking about today, in all seriousness, Cindy and I do have a mentorship program. You can find that on our Facebook page called Root You On, ROOTUON, and they'll give you all the information on joining the mentorship program. It's primarily for students, because we all remember what that was like when we graduated and went to our first practice. So we are bridging that gap for the students. And any information you want will be on that page. And also, don't forget to tell your friends to subscribe to Dental Ailments, our podcast. Any feedback would be appreciated. And I want to wrap it up with a cheers. Cheers to everybody.
All right, cheers.
All right. Thank you for listening out in Dental Circus Land.